It's a reciprocal program where Italian students come here for one summer and we send Portland by hosting them to Italy for the next year. We sent our 5th group of ambassadors last year. It was an extreme success. That with the homestay experience that they will never forget. Over 150 youth have benefited from this connection. Many friendships have endured. In fact, one of our former youth exchange visitors from Maroon is currently in Portland. A great thing is that through our fundraising, mostly soccer, we've been able to provide scholarship support since 2015. We've also begun requiring an expression of the participants' impressions, either written, presented, filmed, collages, and of course recipes learned. And this year we had an incredible opportunity to experience the joy and wonder of the impact on the students. We are also next year planning a tour of Bologna, arranged by us, and customized journeys in Portland. We're looking for as many people to participate in as possible. It will be October of 2018. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you.
Can I just observe, sir, that I have the good fortune of living across the street from your son.
Actually my cousin, Rick.
Cousin?
Yeah.
Who, by the way, cooks a mean bowl of pasta.
I know, yes. We compete in that regard.
Just wanna put that out there.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioner, Mayor. My name is Yvette Flores-Schmidt, and I'm the new president of the Portland Guadalajara Sister City Association. Thank you for letting me be here today. Thank you. Today I'm going to talk about our 3 most recent projects. Bomberos Latinos was BGSCA has founded this program and helped to create Firefighter Academy, making Guadalajara the premier place for firefighters all through Latin America to go train. We're traveling next week to Guadalajara to be present at the opening ceremony. We also did a cerveza collaboration with Cerveza Loba, with Portland Kettle Works, a laboratory here in Portland, and Cervecería Loba in Guadalajara. A special batch of beer named Sueño Rosa was created, and it was submitted to the beer festival in Mexico and was awarded the best beer. Also, we work very close with Faro de Alejandría, an organization that helps low-income families with autistic children and adults. We support this school with monetary donations and supplies. This organization is very dear to me also. And before I say thank you for letting me be here, I want to say that I want to express our appreciation for Hector Miramontes for all his support to our organization. Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate your being here. Good morning.
Good morning, Mayor and council members. My name is Michael Bostwick. I'm president of the Portland Kaohsiung Sister City Association. Kaohsiung is the large port city on the island of Taiwan. We had a very good year this year. We've averaged 65 teams for our dragon boat races for the last several years. We get some new ones, we get some old ones, but you know, it's down from what it was about 8 years ago when the economy went down. So did all of our teams and stuff. But we've been doing good. We've been keeping the prices even for the teams because we initiated a sponsorship program and a patron program, which has brought in enough money to allow us to keep the price of the registration for the teams even for the last few years. This year we added a new thing to our eye dotting ceremony where we awaken the boats on the river by painting their eyes. The mayor was there this year, but we added the Grand Ronde tribe came to welcome our boats to their river, which was a nice, and they did chanting and drums. We were gonna have a canoe, but the park bureau closed the ramp because of the high water, so we didn't get a canoe this year. Hopefully next year we will. We've also assisted in several companies here in the Portland area to going to Kaohsiung to make contacts with them by contacting the Kaohsiung city government, and they've contacted companies in their area that might assist some of our companies here. We had a good delegation this year from Kaohsiung. We had over 100 people here between the city council and the city government and the Shuta High School and their teachers. So that was good. It was a little more than we were expecting, but we hope to have that many next year for our 30th year celebration of Sister City. With that, the Shuta High School received first place for their band in the Rose Festival Parade this year. Between the dragon boat races, the practice time, which is 2 months, the teams have 2 months to practice, and the delegation being here, the economy was assisted by probably over $400,000. We're looking to take a delegation this next year, as I said, for our 30th year celebration of Sister City between us and Kaohsiung. In March, the Lantern Festival is on March 2nd this year. It changes every year. So we hope to be going there about March 1st. We haven't got a final thing from the mayor yet, but we hope to soon, I hope. So we can invite the mayor or one of the council members to go with us this year. We are looking to present again to Shuta High School some scholarships. We started that several years ago where we presented students at Shuta High School with some scholarships to assist them in coming over here. We've given some, the Rose Festival Foundation has given some, and the Royal Rosarians has given some. We also give a scholarship to the a Chinese student in the area each year, and so that is helping, go with what we have. So I'd like to thank you for listening to me, and hope one of you can come with us this next year.
Yeah, and thank you, Michael, and I do apologize. I have not had the opportunity to travel to any of our sister cities yet. And I know that virtually every one of those cities has made an effort to bring a delegation here. And I do understand the reciprocal importance of also traveling overseas to visit our sister cities. So it is high on my list of items to do in the next year is to actually visit some of our sister cities and engage with them the way that they've been more than willing to engage with us. And I particularly appreciated the IDOT ceremony. It was a lot of fun, really interesting, and my daughter loved it. I'd encourage all people in the city of Portland to participate in that next year. It's a lot of fun. Thank you.
Thank you.
Karan, it's good to see you. How are you today?
Good, although.
Oh, I'm sorry, I got the word wrong. I apologize.
My name is Thomas Benke. I'm with the Portland Khabarovsk Russia Sister City Association. If you can say Bach, you can say Khabarovsk. I do bring you personal greetings, Mayor Wheeler, from Mayor Sokolov in Khabarovsk. He's very interested in seeing you, and I'm glad to hear that you might be able to make some trips to some of our sister cities. This is our 29th year of partnership with the city of Khabarovsk. Of course, it grew out of the thawing of the Cold War. It's a very important relationship to our partners in Khabarovsk. I want to remind the council that there are different systems in the United States and in Russia. And Khabarovsk is actually, for all intents and purposes, a unit of the federal government. They have an imperative for foreign relations in the traditional sense, an imperative that perhaps is not in our city's charter. So the sister city associations, and particularly ours, act as a sort of an adapter between those two systems. And we take that role very seriously, but we can't do anything without the support of the council. I don't know if Commissioner Saltzman remembers me, but many years ago there was an environmental disaster in Khabarovsk. Our cities was the only international response to a chemical spill in China that imperiled the water supply of Khabarovsk. And they remember that. It's very important to them to maintain our relationships. So we do a number of exchanges. We try to get our community involved. We do Victory Day celebrations. We drink vodka. We have a Bridge to Russia event. We sponsored the newest breakout rock band in Russia, Three for Silver. They went over there. with United States government assistance because they were being sponsored by a sister city association, and now we've got that cultural tie as well as 29 years of history. So there's a lot more that I could say about what we do over there, but it's in the traditional sense of cultural, educational, academic. A lot of what I've done over there is good governance, and it's been well received, and I just can't thank you enough.
Sir, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
I never clearly understood why this particular city in Russia was so prominent in the jazz world. And that's one of the strong ties we have with Portland, is around music. And is there a historical reason why jazz flourishes in Havaris?
Dale Grant knows a lot more about that than I do. The great jazz artist at Portland State University who went over there a few years ago. They're very, very open society relative to other communities in Russia, and we're extremely fortunate to have them as our partner.
Good morning. Good morning, Mayor and Commissioners. It's a pleasure to be here today. Thank you very much for inviting us. I'm Karan Hansen, a member of the Portland Mutare Sister City Association. We are Portland's only sister city located on the continent of Africa. We are the only sister city that's sole purpose is to offer aid and support to families and children in the far-off beautiful land called Zimbabwe. Over the years, among other projects, we have built and sponsored a health clinic that serves women giving birth and assistance to those who are living with HIV/AIDS, supported an orphanage school, a hospice house, and a camp for deaf children. We also support an organization called FASO, which stands for Family AIDS Support Organization. It is primarily women with children who are living with HIV/AIDS. These women embroider fabric panels. They embroider fabric panels, we buy them and resell them to raise money for FASO and other projects in Mutare. Most recently, we raffled off a beautiful quilt highlighting some of the FASO's panels that is pictured on one of our slides, actually the one that's up right now. We have partnered with my Linda King Marimba Concerts, Zimfest, an annual culture fair for celebrating the beauty of Zimbabwe and its people, and the Portland African Film Festival by selling our FASO panels, and we educate attendees of the work that we do, and we will continue to do this. Next fall, we plan to resume our annual bowl-a-thon that has brought together many people of all ages in costumes and fun with bowling, laughing, and bidding on auction items and FASO panels. One of our former members, Paul Sibley, who's usually the one the last few years who sat before you, he has moved out of the state, but he visited Zimbabwe before his departure this year, and he reported positively on the state of our work and suggested new ideas for the future. We are heading into a year of board development and restructuring with a new single focus of FASO and the families it supports, with the idea of possibly starting a scholarship available to children of FASO families, and we will continue to do our good work. If you are interested in any of our panels and seeing them more closely and a little more of our selection, somebody from our group will be coming by your office to show you and your staff at a later date. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Thank you, Mark. It's good to see you.
Good to see you.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Honorable Mayor Wheeler and Commissioners, my name is Jeff Mandel, and I'm here representing Michael Bacon, the President of the Portland Sapporo Sister City Association, who is unable to be here today due to work commitments, but he sends his regards and the following brief annual report. As I'm sure most of you know, the sister city relationship between Sapporo, Japan, and Portland is one of the longest standing sister city relationships in the United States, beginning in 1959 and continuing with regular, plentiful, and meaningful exchanges that have built an incredibly strong bond of friendship between our two cities. Both Portland and Sapporo share common reputations as being highly livable and vibrant cities that attract many visitors and new citizens every year. Not sure what the rankings are this year, but both cities fall into the most livable cities in their respective countries, and I'm sure in the world. Clean air, clean water, abundant local produce and beer, a strong culinary culture, great access to the outdoors, beautiful gardens and parks, and mass transit are among the many shared aspects of our two cities resulting in this recognition. Please allow me to highlight a number of our association's activities this past year. Both Sapporo and Portland recognize that investment in our youth is critical to the longevity of our relationship and, of course, the prosperity and vibrance of our cities. Over the past 6 years, we've established an annual youth exchanges that leverage a partnership with the Japanese Immersion Program in Portland Public Schools, where we send a delegation of advanced level speakers and writers of the Japanese language from Grant High School to Sapporo. There, they participate in an intensive summer institute. The themes of the Sapporo